What's happening, everybody? Welcome, everybody, Crow family. It's good to be here. It's Tuesday night. It's live at 9. It's CrowCast. A mega guest. Privileged to have him on again at CrowCast. Mr. Danny BOWES is coming on very shortly. Can't wait to chat with him again, Ron.
It's awesome, mate. I really enjoyed the first episode with him.
Yeah,
we had a few technical issues. It was early on in the CrowCast as well. We were actually talking to Danny about that earlier, so he completely understood. So there was loads of great content. It was just, and fair play to him for sticking at it as well, like, because he was kind of glitching and cutting out. But
yeah,
I think we did great, man, and we kind of built some bridges with him, and we had a great laugh, and we resonated over some of the old stories of him and Luke, which were really similar with myself and you. So I think that really helped, and I think that went a long way with Danny,
Yeah, man. He's just he's a real nice guy. And you know what I like about him is the banter. We'd always have that being Welsh.
Yeah.
If we're fond of someone, you have banter with them. And Danny's got that in abundance. So yeah, it's just great to chat with him, man. Real gentleman as well.
Yeah, man, and obviously the boys will be coming on after as well, so we can catch up with them, how they've been doing, what's the next line. Dave's Did You Know? A really cool Crow Radio this week as well, so stick around for that. And news on next week's show as well, which is quite interesting. So, actually, no, that'll be keep an eye on the socials tomorrow, I think. We won't give that one away tonight. There we go. So there we are. The beers, mate. Are you having messages as well?
Yes.
Asking for beer and where can I get it, etc. So if we can kind of address that one while we're on. Right. At the moment, obviously due to COVID, it was brewed in Bridgend and it's been going out locally. So to my knowledge at the moment, it is available in a place called Pontyclean, the Pipeworks. There's a new craft beer shop open in Bridgend. It's available there. Wales Ales, which is a subscription, it's available there. And, of course, Dog's Window. Should we roll the VT, as they say, so everybody can see what we're on about?
Do it, brother.
So there we are.
There it is, available right now. Dog's Window. Or available. www.thosedamncrows.com/beer.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing for anybody as well who I've had a lot of messages this week, whether it be up north, even down towards Cornwall as well, which is really cool. Just kind of speak to your local craft beer shops, guys, because they're asking when is it going to be on sale, maybe more locally to them. I suppose if you can get them to get in touch with us, or more importantly with Dog's Window Brewery, then Lee will be able to ship out to those local craft beer shops, So if you are, I don't want to start naming people because then I feel like I'm leaving somebody out, for example, but if you are based in Bristol, I know somebody messaged me the other day and said there's some amazing shops around by me that should be storing Send the Nipa. Basically, you're best off contacting Dog's Window Brewery. And there we go. Request Send the Nipa at Dog's Window Brewery. And Lee can kind of get it out then and distribute it to those places. We're just kind of doing our best, like I said, due to COVID as well. And everything has kind of been in place. It's been harder to expand as quick as we would like. It's phenomenal how many people have requested the beer. Another question, Shane, is will it be available at festivals if we're playing them this summer? I think we can say that we're working on that, aren't we? That's the current news. Can't release where.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. We are looking into that seriously. So it's a very realistic thing. Yeah, we just got to kind of make sure it's right for us and right for the people, the festivals, so we can get it stocked and ready to go. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Watching bands, drinking the Nipa. Like.
Well, I was thinking, and getting them to go around as well. If if we can, I don't know, complement that with like plastic cups and stuff like that. Like it'd just be cool to see them walking around. But yet again, thank you for all your love and the response to the beer. I mean, it must be kind of going down well, because the reorders are phenomenal, and when shops are getting them in, they're selling out just as quick as we can stock them. So we are looking now to get send the Nipa up to the north, down to the south, to the east, to the west. We're basically working on the rest of the UK. So yet again, like I said, if you would like to see it at your local craft beer shop, please contact Dog's Window Brewery, and they will sort all the details for us. And then you can just go to your local store and pick them up, rather than ordering them from, well, it is sunny Wales at the moment, but
yeah, it's beautiful, dude. I'm running every day, and it's wonderful, man. I keep saying this on every CrowCast. We're so lucky where we live. So I'm gonna run out and seeing this, natural beauty, like it's great. Yeah, long may it continue.
Yeah, beaches, mountains, we can't complain, can we, dude?
No, man, we can't. Seriously can't.
No, man. So with all that said and done, shall we have a guest?
Oh, we're going to jump straight into it, are we?
Let's do it.
Crow family, please welcome back to CrowCast the voice, the front man of Thunder, Mr. Danny BOWES. Hey, there he is.
Hello there.
How are you, brother?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good indeed. I can't complain. Well, I can, but nobody cares, so why bother?
That's it. That's exactly it. So looking a bit different to last CrowCast.
Am I?
Yeah.
Can't remember what I looked like last time.
You had a beard, big beard, and a hat.
Did I?
Yeah. Lockdown served you well. You're looking good.
You sure it was me?
It was definitely you. Do you know what? That explains a lot if it wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm like the Scarlet Pimpernel, you see. If they seek me here, they seek me there. I'm always trying to be one step ahead of the tax man.
We all, mate.
I don't know if that's possible.
Because that was months ago. How have you been keeping, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good. Absolutely good. Yeah, I can't complain. I'm very lucky. I just heard you guys talking about how lucky you are, with the mountains and great views and great countryside and stuff. I don't have that because I live in darkest Kent, but it's very, it's okay here. I mean, I've got a nice house, nice garden, green space just around the corner. So, yeah, I can't complain. I mean, I feel sorry for those poor people who live in flats and with kids and having to do homeschooling and no green space. That must be very, very hard. I don't really envy those people at all. So, I mean, you can feel sorry for yourself. It's the human condition, when you're trapped and you can't do the things you want to do. But to be perfectly honest with you, I got nothing to moan about. Not at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've talked about it on you since I last spoke to you. I've discovered so much of where I live. And I'm not even going far, even, stay into the rules or whatever. I'm very, very lucky that I walk steps out of the door. There's lakes, there's mountains, there's hills. It's stunning, mate. And very, very grateful and fortunate for that as well. But it has allowed me the time to discover what is actually around and the history of where my house is and what it was built on. And it's incredible, so I can't complain as well. Like you said, I've seen so many people on whether it be social media or the TV, and they're just kind of looking out of a one-bedroom flat. So I've been very fortunate,
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very. I think you've got to count your blessings. I think you've got to feel lucky when you are lucky, and I think you have to just kind of ignore the stuff that's slightly irritating. There's a lot of people suffering. A lot of people have been dying. Thankfully, it's all getting a bit better now. With the vaccinations and everything that's going on. But I think, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a long tunnel and it's been dark for a long time, but there is light. So I think, we need to celebrate that and then enjoy the good bits, as much as we can. I heard you talking about you were running there, Shane. So you run every day.
Yeah, I've been running out for the past 2 weeks. I'm not built for running, Danny. I'm not gonna lie. I'm too big. I'm too fat and useless. But I'm trying, bud. I'm trying. Do you try and keep fit? Do you go out running and stuff, or?
I have done, yeah. Weirdly, I started. I used to run all the time, and then I hurt my knee a long time ago playing football. And you know, classic footballer's knee. You know, where the knee that's supposed to do this, mine did that as well.
Yeah.
So very unpleasant. You know, the old ACL reconstruction. I got it fixed a long time ago, but I decided then and there I didn't want to have to go through it again. The rehabilitation and the physiotherapy was quite funny actually, because I can remember I'd had the operation. I'd had the injury for 9 years. This is, wow. I mean, I think I did it when you were both children. You might have been in nappies when I did it. Probably. I seem to remember going past your house and you were screaming. I seem to remember. And I had the operation after 9 years, and we were just about to make our first live album. I never forget it. We were signed to a company called Eagle Rock. And the guy who ran the label was a guy called John Knowles. His nickname was Knocker, right? A very famous character. And I was going to have my knee operated on, and the guy who was going to do the work, the surgeon, he then decided he was going to go on a lecture tour of America, and so he let me down. And our shows were already on sale, and we'd done a deal with the record label to record the live album, and so they'd spent a load of money, and everything was on sale. And suddenly I didn't have the time to do the physiotherapy after the operation. They told me it would take 3 months, and this surgeon decided to bugger off. So there I am. I've got no surgeon, got shows on sale, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the gigs. Shit. So I rang a friend of mine, without wishing to name drop, Rod Smallwood, right, manager of Iron Maiden. And I rang him up and said, Rod, you know a guy. You told me you had your knee fixed. Who can do this work for me? He said, I'll tell you a bloke. I'll get him to phone you up. His name's Howard Ware. He's fantastic. Anyway, I mean, I've got the wrong accent there because I'm doing Manchester and Rod's from Yorkshire. But, you know, it's the closest I can do, you know. So anyway, he rings me, this guy, and I go to see him at the Wellington Hospital, just behind Lord's in London, very posh. You know, you walk in and you think, no way I can afford this operation. This place is way too posh. You know, you go sit down and somebody gives you a bill. You know, it's unbelievable. So anyway, the guy does the operation, but before he does it, I rang this guy, John Knowles, and said, how soon do you want to get your money back? He said, what do you mean? I said, on this record deal. And he said, what about it? I explained to him about the surgeon going on holiday and now I've got this new guy who's going to do it, but they only do it privately. So he says, what's it going to cost me? So I give him the price, and he said, well, perhaps we'll knock it off the band's royalties. I said, no, you can't do that. It's my knee. I don't want them to have a share of my knee. This is my knee. Right? So he said, so what are you going to do? So I said, well, I want to go get the operation done, or we'll have to put off the shows and the live album. And he said, so that's why you're asking me, how soon do I want to get my money back? So I said, yeah. So he said, what do you want me to do? I said, I want you to pay for the operation. And he said, what, all of it? I said, yeah. He said, so it's my knee then? I said, well, if you want to come and get it, you're welcome. So basically, he paid for the operation. I had my knee done, and then I had spent 3 months doing physiotherapy with a sadist who basically beat the crap out of me 3 times a week until it was done. And when I did the show, the first show, it's Thunder Live. It was the first live album we ever made, proper one. It was filmed and everything. And the guy came to the gig, the physiotherapist, and I said, did you enjoy it? I saw him in the after show. He said, yeah, I thought it was great. He said, did you wear your knee brace? Because I'd worn a knee brace for years. And I said, no, I didn't wear it. And he said, really? Fantastic. How did it feel? I said, I didn't even notice it. I think you did a fantastic job with the physio. Absolutely brilliant. He said, I'm going to let you into a little secret. I said, what's that? He said, with your operation and what you had done, I didn't believe it was possible to get you back to match fitness in 3 months. Wow. But I had to push you very hard to get it done. So I said, so that's why I thought you were the living embodiment of Satan. He said, yeah. Correct. And he said, I now use you as my example of what is possible, even against all odds. So I said, oh, okay, thanks very much. And basically, that was the story of the knee and how the record company paid for it. And I stopped running or playing football as a result of that knee because I didn't want to have to go through it again.
Wow.
And then last summer, I started again. And I did Couch to 5K. First off, you know, the little app on your phone?
Yeah.
Did that first. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely loved it. Couldn't believe how brilliant the program was. I loved it so much. I've done my own version. So now I use the NHS app. I've taken all of their stuff and all their time-ins and all of the things that they say, and I've replaced it all with my insanity. So I tell people when to start to run, when to stop running, when to start again, when to celebrate and look like a maniac, only when there's no one around, of course. You know, you don't want to look like a mad thing.
No.
But basically, that's what I did. And I absolutely loved it. Yeah, so I still run now 3 times a week. Love it.
Oh, well done, mate.
Yeah,
Well
man.
done.
Do you miss the football, Johnny?
Do what?
Do you miss the football?
Playing football?
Yeah. Do you miss playing football?
I don't miss it when I'm awake. I know that sounds stupid, but during the day, I never think about it. I watch football. I love football. I start the newspaper at the back so I can read the football news first, right? Always have. But when I'm asleep, I dream of playing football. How weird's that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So where did you play? What position did you play?
I was a defender.
All right.
Yeah, a dirty defender.
Yeah. So I
Right your
thought,
legs, Norman type of character. Yeah. They never got past me.
does Luke still play, or is he retired as well from football? Or
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't play. I don't think he plays anymore. I think the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You know, as you get older, you know, you have to kind of acknowledge the fact that, you know, time stops for no man. You know, it marches on relentlessly, and it comes to a point where you have to kind of admit that you can't do certain things. You know, and there's something brilliant about recognizing that now. I know it's a bit odd, but there's something really good about recognizing that some things you can't do, so you have to do other things instead. And kind of the realization of that. It's quite sad in some ways because your ego gets knocked as a result. But I think the acceptance brings some kind of form of, I don't know, whether it's kind of Zen-like wisdom or something, but it does make you really appreciate the things that you can do, and it makes you want to do them better. Unless you're Luke, in which case when you play golf and you hit a bad shot, you still scream at yourself and call yourself names. Because he gets very, very irate when he plays golf. I love it. I walk around killing myself laughing because for me, golf is conversational. It's social. It's a really good laugh.
Yeah.
Not for Luke. Luke likes to beat the shit out of himself all the way around.
It's funny you should say that because I've just recently picked up golf again with my brother. We're going tomorrow actually, but we've been the same. Me and brothers, the competitiveness and you know, we've had many a Barney on the golf course, throwing clubs and kicking golf bags over, storming off. It's a but we like that. That's a brother thing as well. So you and Luke, you're like brothers, or yeah? Are you competitive?
I don't think so. No, we're very different people. Luckily, I think we're complementary. You know, we dovetail very well. We've got a long history together. We've known each other 50 years come this September, which is insane, isn't it? I mean, that's just terrifying. But we're very lucky, I think, because he's the complete opposite of me. And he's really good at the things that I'm not interested in, and I'm really good at the things he's not interested in. So as a result, we fit together really well. And we don't push each other's buttons either. We don't argue. I think we've probably had 3 crosswords in 50 years.
Yeah,
I'd say, without any fear of contradiction. I think you'll have to run 1,000 miles to find anybody that would bear witness to seeing us have a row.
wow.
Anywhere in the world. Yeah, because we don't. You know, I will run 100 miles to argue with someone, and he will run 100 miles rather than argue with someone. So that's how it works.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. I love
Yin
that.
and yang.
I think so. Yeah. I think we're very fortunate. I think, you know, weirdly, his wife has told me more than once over the years, if I sit you both in separate rooms and I ask you the same question about anything to do with music, I pretty much guarantee you'll both give me the same answer. And that's weird because we're completely separate people, but we've grown up. Almost our paths have kind of converged. So we have a lot of shared experiences about the good and the bad in life as well as the music business. Yeah. So I think our opinions are pretty much formed, together. So we pretty much think the same way about most things. Certainly to do with music, at least. What's good, what's bad, what's indifferent, what we don't want to talk about, all that kind of crap. I think we're very, very lucky, and we take it for granted. Absolutely, we take it for granted because, we've known each other. We were 11 when we met. You know what I mean? That's mad. Yeah. And we've been doing this in a band together since 1975. That's insane.
That's amazing.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's amazing. I mean, we said that to you before, and like me and Shane got it because obviously, like I said, we went to school together. We went to school with Shiner as well. So we get that. If you got that as a foundation as well, that paths together, it's incredible. And it really helps you as well as you get older, because you do form in different ways. Do you know what I mean? And we've talked about that, haven't we, Shane, about like, you're growing up together, but you're also changing as well, like, or you and I think it's vital, like, or it's nice then to have somebody to lean back on the past with and talk about that, or do you remember when we did that, or that mistake, for example, you can really look back at your mistakes. Which
I think that, but being in a band is like, it's a bit like being in a gang. Yeah. I don't mean gang as in the kind of the modern sense. I mean gang as in the old-fashioned sense. Like kind of naughty kids running around making a mess and just kind of being cheeky. I think you can rely on the people in your gang. They've always got your back, and it's the same thing with being in a band. You completely rely on the other guys in your band. People when they write about my band, they nearly always write about me. They write about my singing, but that's because I'm at the front, basically making sure that nobody else can look at anyone else, because I'm just too busy running around like a maniac, so that everybody's looking at me. But if you did that on your own, you would look like a mad thing, wouldn't you? you need the rest. You need that foundation. People always talk about our band and how we have a tendency to go off at a tangent during songs, and we do that deliberately. We rehearse the beginning, we rehearse the end sometimes, but a lot of the time we say, right, when we get to that bit, we'll do something. And one of us will take the lead, and then we'll go off, and then the rest of us will follow. A lot of the time it's me, because I'm kind of judging how the show is going all the time. I'm like a snake smelling the air with the old tongue out. I have to know that this show is going to end the way I want it to. There's no kind of pre-plan for the show for me. It has to end the way I want it to. And if it's not going the way I want it to, I have to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do. Sometimes I have to set fire to myself, set fire to the audience, get my cock out, whatever. I've got to do something to get a reaction. And I've done all those things over the years, one way or another. Yeah, I mean, I remember we did a show in Basel, and I ended up stepping into the audience. It was a corporate gig with Deep Purple, sponsored by cigar makers. Gig was going very badly. They didn't give a shit who we were. They didn't know who we were. And we're running out of time, and I'm thinking, I've got to turn this around. I've got to find a way to do it. So I stepped into the audience. Luke had just started playing Don't Wait For Me, with the old big guitar solo. He's got the old hair flowing back, rock god, foot on the monitor, got it all going on. All that stuff he does with his hair, And just before I started singing, I thought, I've got to do something. So I stepped into the audience, and I went up to a table, and I found a woman sitting at the table with a man, all dressed up, the old Dickie bows and the penguin suits and, diamonds and tiaras and stuff. Very, very posh too. So I basically went up to this woman, and I took her hand, and I said, would you like to dance? And I put the microphone right up close so that everyone could hear us talking. And she said, and I said, thank you. And I just basically grabbed her, didn't give her a chance. And I made her step up on her chair onto the table. I kicked all the stuff away. And I got onto the table with her, and we started doing a slow dance on the table in the middle of this room, right? With the whole audience all watching, all thinking, thank Christ it's not me. Thank Christ you can think they're all doing it, right? And the band are playing, thinking, what is he doing? What is he going to sing? What's going on? So I started singing to the woman while I was dancing with her. I sang the whole song, Dancing with a Woman. And then while Luke was doing the solo, giving it, playing his big solo with his blowing his hair, I basically just carried on dancing with a woman and took the microphone away and just started talking to her about how she got there that day and has she done her shopping and, hope we haven't left the iron on and that kind of thing. And we got through to the end of the song and it finished and the audience went nuts, absolutely nuts. And it turned the gig around. That's the kind of thing. I have to find something in every gig. If it's not going well, I have to find a way to turn it around. And so if I go off in a direction, the band will follow me because they know what I'm doing and why. They don't know how we're going to get out of it, but they know we're going to do it. And we've had some spectacular car crashes over the years, it's got to be said, where it all falls to bits and the audience are looking around at each other going, did they mean to do that? I don't think they did.
Yeah.
But we don't care. It just makes it different. It means that when people go away, they think I was there when they did, whatever it may be. And that's the key. That's the key for us. That's what keeps us engaged. And I think that's what keeps an audience stimulated.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's a kind of, well, you tell me, Ron, when I go off on my little wanders, off stage, up balconies, on stairs, on tables, is that what you're thinking? Or
yeah, I mean, I love it. You both will get this as frontmen. So, like, where certain stages, if there's balconies, etc. I don't know if you've done it, Danny, but Shane likes to get up onto the balcony and run around the balcony and stuff, similar to when you got down onto the table and start interacting. And the funniest gigs are where you disappear backstage, for example, from a drummer's point and from a band point, and you're doing the whole jam, or you're doing like a breakdown of the section, and you can hear you singing one point, and then you'll go, and there's like a lag, and that's when the sheer like timing and the friendship and everything comes into play, because you're praying that you're in time and in sync with each other. Like, do you know what I mean? Because there's a point of like, especially some of these theatres that we've played, which are beautiful and grand, but by the time you've got to the back of the room, there's that kind of like bounce back, especially if I haven't been in years. It's almost like, so you're in that little bit of bounce back and you're just literally going off feel. But yeah, I mean, some of the views are spectacular, mate, whether you're leaning over a balcony, or I can imagine the same for the band when Danny's dancing on a table. I personally love frontmen who do that, because it's more than your ticket's worth. Do you know what I mean? It's, if I was going to a gig now as a drummer or as a music fan, I would want to see the frontman interact with as many people as possible. And I love the old-fashioned term of singing to the guy at the back of the room or the woman at the back of the room, like, reaching that person at the back of the room. So I think it's vital, I do, but it's definitely interesting where the hell you're going to end up, like,
I think you have to have the courage of your convictions. You have to be prepared to go with it. And as you say, when you've known each other a long time, and you have that kind of strength, you have that reserve that you can believe in, that you can rely on. And I think that's where bands that haven't been together a long time or don't know each other well enough, they struggle with that kind of thing. You might find one guy will want to do it and the other's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And they get very panicky, and it shows, because feel is everything. The audience can always tell. And I think that if it's genuine, even if it's a cock up, I don't think it matters. I really genuinely don't think it matters. As long as you look like you're having a good time, that's the key. Audiences feed on that shit. Absolutely. And I've watched it so many times over the years. When I was a kid, I went to see Van Halen on their second album tour. They played at the Rainbow in Finsbury Park in London. Fantastic venue. And they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But the highlight of the show for me was when they went off after the set was finished and they came back on to do the encore, but it was just David Lee Roth. Now, David Lee Roth, not the world's best singer, But at the time, there was no other frontman like him. Nowhere. All the other singers stood and sang.
Yeah.
That's what they did. And they either hit the notes or they didn't. But they didn't entertain. David Lee Roth came back onto the stage wearing leather chaps, no top on, great physique, little teeny weeny acoustic guitar, slightly bigger than a banjo and not big enough to be an acoustic guitar. And he stood at a curtain, just got himself through the curtain, and he stood there like that. And the audience went mad. And he stood there for what felt like 10 minutes, just smiling, didn't speak, just smiling. And at the end of what felt like 10 minutes, he moved another half a step forward. And as he did, this enormous plume of ostrich feathers came up from behind him, which were all stuffed down the back of his leather chaps. And they just revealed themselves like this massive, great plume of ostrich feathers. And the audience went mental again. All their laughter went up, and the screaming and the shouting and everything went up again. And it went on for another 10 minutes. Still hasn't spoken, right? 10 minutes of all this stuff, and these ostrich feathers are getting bigger and bigger. And after about what felt like 20 minutes, he said, "London." And they all went mad again. The whole thing was just insane. And you just think to yourself, now that is a showman.
Yeah.
You know? And I can remember I was in a band at the time. And from the moment I got in a band, previous to that, every band I went to see, I just wanted the band to be great and for the singer to hit the notes. I had to know he hit the notes. If he didn't hit the notes or he dipped out in some way, I felt shortchanged. And why didn't he hit the notes? I didn't know that it was hard. I didn't know that you got to do it night after night. I didn't know that it's easy to get it right in the studio, but it's not so easy to do it when you have to do it live and you can't always hear it very well, or the band might be really loud, you know, interfering with your ability to hear what you're singing. Or you might have drunk a bottle of scotch the night before. I didn't know those things. I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
But if he didn't hit the notes, I felt shortchanged.
Yeah.
Completely, I went home miserable. When I saw David Lee Roth, I suddenly realized that it wasn't just about the singing. It was much more about how you brought the audience onto the stage with you, beat them about the head, and sent them home happy to have been beaten. And I think that basically did it for me. I came away I went home on the train. I'll never forget it. And I thought, I want to do it like that. I have to do it like that. And, you know, he changed my life, you know, in absolutely no uncertain terms. He changed my life because I realized that it wasn't just about the singing. It had to be about the entertaining as well.
Yeah. For a long time, I was kind of in that mindset as well as a singer. I felt the same. If I was watching somebody that wasn't hitting the notes, I was exactly the same. But then as the performer, I quickly realized that I was always so focused on doing the best vocal I can do. Like that was 100%. And what I kind of realized then that I needed to be like 70% vocal, 30% something else. I needed to grow as a performer, entertainer, whatever. So still really high, the percentages. I want to hit every note if I can, but not.
I know what you mean. Not at the expense of the show.
Yes, not the expense and sacrificing the show, because that is our job. I totally agree with you. But that took me a long time. That only recently I've actually thought like that. In the last sort of 5-6 years, I've been with the band.
I'll tell you, I'm going to let you into a secret. I still do it to myself now.
Yeah.
Even to this day. I come off after a show, I'm half dead because I don't even know what I've done. I genuinely don't know what I've done. It's only afterwards I know, when people tell me what I've done, that I find out what I've done. Because I go on, I'm almost in a kind of a trance. I'm feeling the room, I'm working the room, I'm staying on top of what goes on all the way through the gig. But all the way through the gig, I'm beating myself up.
Yeah.
All the way through the gig.
Yeah.
All the way through the gig. You know, didn't do that very well. Didn't do that very well. Didn't do. I never tell myself what I did well. I only tell myself what I didn't do well all the way through the gig. Yep. And by the end of the gig, I'm half dead. I go into the after show and people say, that was great. And I think to myself, you must have been at a different gig to me.
Yeah. Yep.
It's weird. And then occasionally just occasionally I will do a show and I'll come off. I know the band have been red hot because they always are. And sometimes I might think, absolutely nailed it tonight. I am fucking amazing, right?
Yeah.
Some nights, right? Not many, but occasionally I'll come off and I'll walk into the after show. Nobody says a word.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, you've been at a different gig to me again.
Yeah.
You know, this is just, I'll never understand it. I've learned to accept it.
Yeah.
But for me, you know, touring is mental torture. Absolutely mental torture. My first waking thought every day I wake up on the bus is, 1, I'm still alive. 2, am I going to do that again tonight?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way I feel.
It's literally like you're walking through my mind right now. It's literally everything I think you're basically saying. So that's good to know, because you'll be doing it a while and you're still epic, bud.
I was going to say, Shane, it must be brilliant to hear that from Danny, because like I've toured with him and I know every day, Danny, we could be sitting at breakfast and it'll be silent with me and him maybe, or the boys, he'll be really quiet. And it's almost that couple of hours just making sure that you can open your mouth and sing. It's almost like it's fine. 99.9%. Or like you said before, Danny, when your voice went before that download slot, like, do you know what I mean? And you didn't know whether it was going to work until the show, and it ended up being one of the most talked about shows ever. It's but I've actually been with Shane, and it don't matter the age. It's almost the fear of not being able to put on the show and letting people down. And that's a lot of weight to carry for any frontman, any singer, any performer, like, you know.
I think the problem is with singing is that, you know, it's an extension, you know, your instrument is an extension of who you are. And we're all frail, you know. There's all kinds of ways that we can break down singers. Guitar players, drummers to an extent, all the other musicians, they can go on, they can feel like dog shit and still perform.
Yeah.
They can still play, right? Singers, it's not the same, because you're only as good as you feel, the way you feel. If you don't feel right, then you don't sing as well. And if you're in here, you feel less than you know you should do, you make it harder for yourself. It's a state of mind. It's completely a state of mind. If you feel tense, your voice doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
If you relax, your voice feels great. So the trick is waking up feeling like death, knowing that your voice has been ravaged the night before for whatever reason. And then you've got to find a way to get yourself from that state there to the point where you feel good enough to go on and do the job. And that, for me, sometimes takes all day.
Yeah.
From the moment I wake up,
yeah,
I'm humming, I'm working my way through the day, I'm warming my voice up, I'm gradually doing tiny little, skinny little exercises all through the day. People will come to me and ask you questions and say, I'm not talking to you right now. I've got more important things to do. I'm sitting there going, la, 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 so fuck off, come back later.
Yeah, I'm going to try that one. La, 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 fuck off.
Come back later. You've got to say come back later. It doesn't work otherwise.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't come back.
Yeah. That's amazing. No, that's good to hear, bud. And one of the things I've heard, like on the new album, which is incredible, guys. No, if anybody haven't got this, what's the matter with you? Go and get it. It's amazing. Danny, your voice still, dude, sounds, if not, even more soulful on this record that I've heard you in the past. But you're hitting all the big notes, bud. It's raspy, it's soulful. Your voice is brilliant. And in fact, I've been listening to this album for about, 2 weeks now while doing my runs. And before listening to this album, I was struggling running. So I'd be running and I'd be like, oh, come on, Shane, getting up the hill. And then I found myself listening to this album. I was going, go on, Danny boy, go on, Danny. Because like the soul in your voice, dude, it's just, I don't know, man. It resonates with me as a vocalist, and I think it's killer, bud.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We were very chuffed with it when we finished it. Absolutely. We knew the material was strong. We knew we'd had a great time making it. And for us, having a great time making it means that it's good. We know it's good. We've been doing it a long time now. So we all felt very good about it when it was finished.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a blow. I have to say it was a blow, because we heard the final mix and we approved the final mix. Mike Fraser, as in AC/DC and Aerosmith and all those guys, he's mixed loads of our albums over the years. He mixed it in Vancouver. We sent him all the audio and just said, do your tune, do your thing, do your job, smash it up the way only you can. And when he sent the mixes through, Luke and I were on the road in Germany. We're doing this thing called Rock Meets Classic, where you go out with a massive orchestra, you play your tunes, and then you get off, and then you stand by the side and watch other people play their tunes with the orchestra. It's brilliant fun. Absolutely. If anybody ever offers you the opportunity to go, Shane, absolutely take it. Don't think for a second, oh, it's a bit odd, it's a bit weird, feels a bit like karaoke. I'm telling you now, don't refuse. It's amazing. It's a fantastic, amazing thing to do. And so we were doing this. We were probably 5 shows in, and then the whole thing got shut down by COVID. We were the last show in Berlin on the night that we played it, and then everybody went home the next day, which was really real shame. But we'd heard the final mix on the album in our hotel room the night before, and we just approved all the mixes, and then we went home, and then of course we got in the door. I was thinking, well, okay, so I was going to be away for the next 3 weeks, and now I'm not away. So what am I going to do now? I was going to think about shooting the album cover, but I can't do that either. All right, so okay, let's do the band photos. Oh no, we can't do them either. Okay. So what are we going to do now then? Well, we're not going to release an album, are we? It was a very sort of bizarre discussion. So normally we work with the plan. The plan's, like sometimes 2 years ahead, and we move the plan, we shift the plan as we need to. But to have your plan just kind of pulled away with no way to know how you can adjust it is a very strange thing. We're not used to that. So it meant we spent the next year sitting on an album we couldn't play to anyone.
Yeah.
And I've never been in that position before. So by the time we were able to play the album to people, for us, it was really old. I mean, I've been running around the park to it, and I agree with you, Shane. It's definitely a good album to run to. Even I found that.
It is
It's really weird, because when I listen to our albums normally, I'm beating myself up thinking of all the things that I didn't do well, all the things that I wanted to do well that I didn't quite nail all the way through. But I've listened to this album so much whilst running and being distracted that I've actually gone right round the corner, and I've come back on it, and I'm almost listening to it like I bought the record now, rather than I sang on it. It's a really strange thing. But so I listen to it like a punter now, which is very odd. I put it on today. I was listening. We were talking about doing some edits and for radio and various bits and bobs, and I put the tracks on today, and I was listening to them thinking, oh, yeah, this is weird. Doesn't feel like me. It feels like someone else.
Yeah.
It's so long ago. Very weird.
I think
I actually like it anyway.
I think that's one of the things I wanted to ask, because obviously now we've got it and we listen to it and everything. It must be so weird, like, because we grew up with your records as well, and knowing how bands operate, especially when you want to be in a band and then you start learning the behind the scenes of the cycle, as we know, the cycle of you release a record and then you come back a couple of years later, re-record another record. It must have been so bizarre of all your life doing it a certain way, and then obviously nobody's seen this coming, but to have this record and to not see the guys and stuff like that. But you did meet up then, I think, after we spoke to you after the CrowCast, and did a kind of like the Grey Whistle test. You did like a TV show which went out, is that right, to your fans?
Yeah, well, we knew we couldn't release the album, so we had to put it back, and we put the shows back as well. But then we realized that we weren't going to be able to play the shows, even though they'd been delayed. Originally, they were going to be last November. Then we moved them back to this May. And when the realization came that we weren't going to be able to play the shows in May either, we couldn't stop the album from being released, because that had already started. It's like a tanker. Once you get it going, you can't turn it around. So we thought, well, if the album's definitely coming out, but we can't play live, we have to do something. And people have been saying to us, asking us if we would play some kind of a streamed gig. And we weren't really huge fans of it because our audience makes the difference between a rehearsal and it being a show.
Yeah.
You know, when you know, we can get ourselves excited up to a point, right? But unless the audience is there, you know, it ends up at this level and it never gets any further than that. You stick the audience in a room, it does that. And that makes us go there, and then they go there, and then in the end, you know, all the lava starts coming out of everybody's heads, you know, and it's a mess, you know. But that's what we want to happen, and we need the audience for that to happen.
Yeah.
So to be able to do a gig without an audience, we just didn't fancy it at all. And a lot of the bands I'd seen do it, not all, some of them did it really well, but some of them, or the majority of them, I just thought, you know, it just feels a bit flat to me. You know, I watched a few stream gigs and just didn't really feel like it worked for me. And I don't think we would have enjoyed it so much. So, but the realization that we couldn't do it, shut up. Can you hear my cat? She's just coming in moaning at me. She's hungry. What do you want? Go away. I'm doing something here. I know. Just shut up. That's it. Go on. Bugger off. Go on. Sorry about this.
All right.
What are you doing? No, she's gone. It's all right.
I just realized the cat.
See what?
Thundercats.
No, she's
Not gonna get it.
No, I'm not going there. I know what you're saying, but I'm not going there. Yeah, her name is Nutmeg, and we call her Meggie, but she's more nut than Meg. It's got to be said. She's always been a bit weird, strange cat. Must be beat up as a kitten. Very strange. Anyway, we won't go there. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying.
Just talking about the fans and the connection of live gigs. So it must be really strange doing, I mean, there you all are in your holy glory, but it's going to be strange, bud, isn't it? Because obviously you've created this album now. And like when any band does an album, you're waiting for that crowd response to those songs. You know, you're listening back to them and you know people are saying, oh, they're like their favorite songs. But until you're in that room with that audience, do you realize, oh my God, they went nuts for that song? You know, what you think is a good song, actually to the crowd, that song works better live, or just, we're not there yet.
Yeah. Well, you never really know. I mean, we re-recorded 8 of the songs last summer at Rockville. We went in, we got the girls in and we got Sam in, the keyboard player, and we played them all live, completely live. I mean, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, go, you know. Yeah. No fix-ups, no stopping, you know, get to the end of the tune. Everybody happy? No, well, I actually screwed up that one. All right, we'll do it again. And then we'll do the song again. And then, you know, actually, I fucked that up. All right, we'll do it again then. Don't do it again, please, because I'm getting fed up now. All right, then, let's go. So then we'd do it again. And we just kept doing that for all 8 songs until we were happy that we had 8 versions that were, you know, as close to being as good as they could be. Yeah. And the experience of doing that, took us into that's beyond rehearsing, because you're recording it. You're trying to capture a performance. So that's not like a live gig, but it's more than a rehearsal. It's more than just kind of running through the tunes. So that gave us a feeling for which songs from the album would work. But as you say, there's no substitute for doing it in front of real people. The strange thing was that having agreed to do it, we felt that the only way that we could get some degree of live interaction in place was to open it up to our fan club members. And so we recorded through the day and filmed through the day when we shot the TV thing. And then I think it was about 6 o'clock in the evening, we had the fan club members join us via Zoom. You know, like on your TV, you've got all of those tiny little screens, everybody's going mad in the background, all clapping out of time, you know. Some of them not even wearing any clothes. Funny people. You know. But the difference it made when those guys joined us, even though they were down the pipe and we could see them only on TV screens. We had a TV screen either side, one over here, one over here. And the moment they joined us, our energy levels went, it was bizarre. You know, it was really strange. Even though they weren't in the room, it was still better than not having them in the room. But the difference was amazing. And we were very pleased with the results. It was an enormous amount of work. I think we ticked our boxes because we didn't want it to look like a gig, and we didn't want it to look like a rehearsal. We wanted some interaction with the audience, and it turned out really well. You know, that it sounded great. I mean, when you consider we had no opportunities to rehearse that at all. We ran through the songs once the afternoon before just to check the sound. That was it. No rehearsal. None. 8 people. It was absolutely terrifying. And Rob, the guitar player who stood in for Benny, he played all 16 of those songs, having never played them before.
That's amazing.
It was unbelievable. I genuinely couldn't believe that he did it as well as he did. He's a great guy, great guitar player. He plays for Jamiroquai normally. You know, he's giving it all that kind of expensive, funky stuff most of the time. And we said to him, you know, did you enjoy it? He said, yeah, it was great. There's a few power chords every now and again. Turn me amp up. Loved it. You know, he doesn't get to do that with Jamiroquai. He's just going, giving it all that, you know, most of the time. Playing the expensive chords that we can't afford in rock bands.
Do you have any favourite songs on the album, Bud?
Favourite songs on the album? It's very hard to choose your favourite songs because it changes all the time, and also it's all tainted, I think, by, certainly for me at least, it is by what you felt when you made it. You know how hard it was. I mean, the ballad for me, "I'll Be the One." That's the hardest song I've ever sung. Not because it's high or you know there's no time to breathe or anything. It's because it's probably the quietest song he's ever written for me to sing. Right. It's low, it's very soft, and I'm not good at that. I'm usually trying to out scream everybody else and shout over the top of them. You know, I don't care how loud their amps go. I'm going to be louder than them. Fuck them.
Well, it's funny
with a song like "I'll Be the One," it's very soft and it's very gentle, and that's not my area. You know, so but that's part of the brief. You know, when we got back together to make the Wonder Days album, we said we have to go into new areas. We have to, even if people don't notice, it's about us feeling like we're pushing the barriers, you know, just pushing at our own skill levels. You know, we want to raise the bar. We've said this time and time again in interviews, and we wanted to raise the bar, not just with the songwriting, but with the performances and the way that we sing, the way that we play. And, you know, to his credit, I mean, Luke has delivered those songs that have made it hard for us. And you know, we definitely suffer for our art. By the time we get to the album, we're all looking around it afterwards going, well, he did it. He made it harder, but we got there mostly, you know. And "I'll Be the One" for me was the big challenge on that album. I don't normally sing the songs for very long. I'm usually pretty well drilled when I get into the studio. I sing a song once to warm up. I'll sing the song 4 times in quick succession. So I'm singing for about half an hour, you know, no more for every song. And at the end of the half an hour, they'll basically go through and they'll just pick all the best bits, you know, and then they'll just kind of glue them all together. And as long as it sounds like a performance, that's job done. Yeah. You know, maybe I'll go in and fix a couple of lines, but it's pretty much half an hour, you know, so I don't take very long to sing them. But with that song, I tried as hard as possible and didn't get there. That was on session 1. I think I told you we made the album in 3 sessions, right? Yeah. Session 1, I tried to sing it, failed. Session 2, tried again, got a bit closer, but still failed. Session 3, did it again, got it as good as I can get it, and gave up. I just got to the stage where I thought, I can't do any better than this. I'm not as good as I thought I was. It's the truth. And I just had to accept it. And it's taken me over a year to now accept the fact that it sounds okay, but not as good as I would have liked it to have been. Because I know in my head what I wanted to do. I just couldn't do it.
That's mad. It's a frontman thing, isn't it? Because I know Ronnie's sitting there going, that's him. That's exactly what he does.
Shane, that's living with Shane, that is. It's like, you'll hear something, and I've even said to Shane, that's great. And he's like, really? And it's almost then I feel like he's testing me. I'm like, yeah, it sounds great. No, I don't think it does. And then you're thinking, well, are my ears gone? Am I not hearing it like he's hearing it? But genuinely, when you ask the room and the other boys paving, everybody seems to have the same thing. So I do think it's a singer frontman, especially singers who can sing. And I do say, you know, in this industry at the moment, and I'll probably get roasted for it, but there are a lot of singers who can't sing earning a good coin, and fair play to them, God bless them and all of that. But there are true singers as well, which I'm still a fan of. I'm still very old school, and I love a singer to sing. Like, you know, I love, you know, not to be aided. I think I'm trying to be too kind of tactful on my words, but you know, like I said, a lot of them are aided by computers, or and to me, an old-fashioned singer can open his mouth and wail, or like you said, fucking keep up, turn your amp up, and you're in the keys and stuff like that, like, you know, and
you're talking about those filthy cheats, aren't you? That's what you're talking about.
Basically, yeah, especially half the mob musicians who, you know, they got half the band playing on fucking track, and you know, and the singer's choosing which line he's going to sing because he's got 8 tracks of himself that he's kind of mixing into the live performance, like, you know. So
yeah, I know. I don't get it. I never understood it. And if that's what blows their ear back, you know, if that makes them happy, then so be it. If that makes their audience happy, great. But it doesn't work for me. And you can only be true to yourself. You only can do what you think is right for you. You know, because if you do what's right for you, you'll never go far wrong. That's the way I see it. And I genuinely believe that part of the anxiety and the angst and the pressure that you put on yourself to deliver, if you're a certain type of singer, I think that's the thing that makes you good.
Yeah.
You know, it is, you know, it's the thing that drives you to be better than you could be if you just were complacent, you know? So, and you can't have one bit of it without the other bit. You can't just sort of, you've got to have a little bit of torture, you know, otherwise, how do you know it's any good? You know, if you just sort of, I mean, I don't struggle, genuinely, I don't struggle most of the time. You know, I show up, open me chops up, out it comes, you know, happy days, you know, and every now and again, it's a nightmare, you know, and we've talked about the business of being on the road and trying to get yourself ready for that. It's just what you do, you know. It's kind of, it's normal for me, you know. I accept it as part and parcel of what goes on. I don't moan to the others about it. I mean, I remember years ago we had a conversation. The boy says, well, why don't we fiddle around with the keys a bit? Why don't we drop down like half a step or something, you know, might help you. And we did it, and we rehearsed for, I think we were rehearsing for 4 days. And on the second day, I said to them, we need to go back to the way it was. And they said, why? I said, because you're all miserable and so am I. This is not working. This doesn't feel right. You know, but it'd be easier for you. We'll all get used to it. I said, I don't want to get used to it. Let's just go back to the way it was. It's my problem. I'll deal with it. You know, and we do. You know, I think, you know, you want to be a singer, you got to suffer. It's as simple as that.
Simple as that. Incredible. I know we were joking about that in the studio when we were recording. Producers were like, "Oh, Shane, can we go up a half a step?" And we're like, "Oh, really? Yeah. Just bring something out in your vocal, and that's what's down the record, and that's what we do live now." And but yeah, you can be your worst enemy as a singer. It is mind games, Danny, and it's good to know that you're still kicking ass as you do, bud, and you've been doing it as long as you have. I'm small fish, but to know that you've been there, done it, and saying it's okay, that's normal. The way you're thinking is normal, because I think exactly like you are, bud.
I think you've got to rely on your guys, you know, in that situation. I've always been very lucky. I think had I been left to my own devices, I probably would have disappeared up my own arse for sure. You know, where I think I've been very lucky, and this is where I hope you'll be lucky too, is that I've been able to rely on my guys, you know, because I know that if I get into that situation where I can't see the wood for the trees and I think it's shit and I want to do it again and Luke will just say, you know something, I think it's all right. You need to give it up now. You know, why don't you go off and get yourself a cup of tea and make me one, bring us back a biscuit, and all will be well. Yeah. You know, I'll just get this mixed, and then if it doesn't sound right, we'll do it again. But I think you'll find when I've sprinkled the magic fairy dust on it, all will be well.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, he's right. So I think you have to be able to put your trust and your faith in the guys that you work with, you know, to stop you just being a neurotic maniac, you know, because that's what you can end up doing. I feel like a vicar.
No, it's good. It's good. Especially for bands watching as well, because you know, everybody goes through it, Danny, and like especially now we're leveling up and we have the show with you, for example, in the Motor Point, which is fantastic. We're looking forward to that. We got the rescheduled show with you in the Motor Point in Cardiff.
There it is.
Can't wait for that, Thursday, 26th of May. So what we did since we last spoke to you as well, we've been mastering our craft behind the scenes and trying to work on our in-use. And it's little things like your advice there or just trying to get those things right. So you can level up as a band. So I think everything you've said tonight kind of gives, especially a lot of singers, a little bit of peace of mind that then, you know, it's all right to be a bit crazy. I was going to say not that they're not crazy, but it's okay to be a bit crazy, like, you know?
Gotta be.
I think I've always felt there's nothing wrong with showing yourself to be human. I've never had a problem with telling people about the failures and telling people about you know, insecurities and stuff like that. I know Luke would never agree with any of that. He thinks it's all about strength. He's always very kind of bulletproof, you know, united front. We don't do our washing, you know, all that kind of rhubarb, you know, our dirty washing in public. And to an extent, I agree with that. But I'm much more tactile, you know. I'm much more neurotic, frail, happy to share, you know. I think you can keep stuff bottled up, and some people it works for, but it don't work for me. You know, I got a problem, everybody knows about it. It's as simple as that. I just think everybody deserves to know about my problem, because that will make them feel better as well as me. And it's probably not true, but that's what I do. I can't do anything about it. You know, I'm having a shit day, everybody knows. It's just, you know, they get to find out, you know, and that makes me feel better.
There's so many similarities in there.
It's unbelievable.
Well, that's why you ended up being a singer, my friend.
Yes, I'll drink to that.
You spoke about Luke. It'd be rude before you go not to say about the tour that's just been announced, which is great. I know we're going to get to one of the dates. It's brilliant because you've done this before. You're going to be. Is it a book? Is to complement the book that's coming out as well? Is that correct?
Yeah. The after we did the last tour, that was November 2019. The promoter, who is also a publisher of books, he said to us afterwards, I really enjoyed the shows, much more than I thought I would. I thought you would play some acoustic songs. I didn't realize that it would be so revealing. I didn't realize that you guys were so kind of capable of sort of dovetailing with the stories and the way that you finished each other's sentences and the way that you kind of covered for each other and that kind of kinship that you've got, that you've obviously built up over many, many years. He said, I had no idea that it was so deep, you know, the way that you guys are able to just kind of interact with an audience. And I said, I'll be honest with you. I did a similar tour with Benny years before, and equally funny, very, very good. But Luke's a different sort of character. He's much more kind of straightforward, much more sort of upright than, don't get me wrong, Luke is not a deadly serious man. He's just very much more serious than Benny. You know, when we did the Danny and Ben tour, I spent my time trying to keep it on track while Benny did his best to derail it every night, all the way through the gig. You know, like a naughty schoolboy, just trying to find a way to pull the rug out from underneath me. With Luke, I expected that he would be a lot straighter and that I would be the one trying to keep lighting it all up, because otherwise, you know, he might end up doing some kind of human didgeridoo impersonation, you know, just sort of going all the way through the gig, you know. So, but that wasn't the case. The moment from the first show, Luke suddenly kind of did it in a completely different way than I thought he would, and the promoter got it, and he said to me afterwards, you know, I think we should do a book. I'd really like to commission Mick Wall to write a book, but it has to be your book. It has to be in consultation with you. I don't want him to write it from a distance. I want him to talk to both of you separately and together, so that you get that kind of feeling of narration all the way through the book. And so we did, and we did that in a big chunk of last year, several sessions. And Mick wrote it up, and then we fiddled with it, and so we kind of all wrote it together, really. I mean, he typed it all, but we then edited it and tweaked it and changed it and put it in the right order and, you know, corrected all his mistakes, you know, and it was great fun to do. But having done it, the promoter said, well, I think we should do another tour to go with the book. So we said, okay, all right then, let's talk about it. And then, of course, COVID happened, and then it all went wrong. And so now we've decided that we'll put it on sale. I hope we'll get to do it in November. You know, I really hope. I mean, people are buying tickets. They're going gangbusters. The book sales are amazing. So, you know, hopefully we'll get to do it in November. And I like to think we will. I think by November we'll be in good shape. We just have to wait and see.
You come in local to us. I'm definitely. I'll be there, Bo. Definitely.
Yeah.
It'll be a good laugh. It's very, very good laugh. I mean, we tell all kinds of stories. I mean, we reveal all kinds of stuff during the gigs. I mean, the audience are crying their eyes out laughing.
I think one of your past ones, you came to a place called Maesteg in Wales, Maesteg Hall, and I heard about it, and everybody has said what a great night they had. So, and they still talk about it. They're like, it was an absolutely fantastic night, completely different to a Thunder show. It was just, it was brilliant. It was entertaining. The stories were phenomenal. The music was great. So yeah, man, I'm with Shane. I'd love to come along and.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Just let me know where you want to go, and I'll make sure they let you in.
Yeah, it seems to be the pattern at the moment. Shane, we're banned from.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good fun tour, and it's very different.
Yeah.
But it just. I think once again, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be the way you are as human beings. And I think we're lucky. We've been doing it a long time. We've got a lot of history. For us, it's not that difficult to do. I remember talking to Biff from Saxon when we first announced the first Danny and Ben tour. I think I'd been somewhere like the Classic Rock Awards or somewhere, and there was a do afterwards. And I saw him at the bar, and he said, I see you've just announced this 2-man tour. And I said, that's it. And he said, so how's that going to be then? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, we're going to tell some stories. And then when it feels like it's flagging, we're going to burst into song to save it. So he said, right. He said, I could never do that. I said, why? And he said, I'd be terrified. I said, why? So he said, well, you got no band, have you? So I said, no. So he said, well, what if you make a mistake? I said, the audience will laugh.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? So he said, I know, but, I mean, what about your reputation? I said, our reputation went to the dogs years ago, mate. I'm not worried about that. I think all I got to do is just get on and have a good time. As long as I have a good time, the audience will have a good time, Yeah. And it really isn't any more complicated than that. It's really easy to overthink it. You just got to be yourself, very normal, find a way to make it entertaining, and, look into the audience and look for some smiling faces. You can see it in their eyes if they're enjoying it. If they're not, like I said, set fire to yourself or set fire to them.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
I love it. Bro, I could speak to you all night, Danny. I love it, dude. This is brilliant. If any of you guys haven't got this album, All the Right Noises, please do yourself a favor, go get it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's great for running. Before you go, Danny, I've got to say, bud, as a vocalist, Young Man, the lower register on Young Man, that's low. You like Barry White?
That's not me. That's Luke.
Oh, no.
That's Luke.
Yeah.
Fair play.
There we are. We were we were wondering. Bloody hell.
Oh no, I did do some of it. I think we did them together. I think we did some of the low ones together. No, I think I am in there actually. Yeah, I forgot. I might have had a drink.
It does sound like it.
Yeah, I think I did sing. I think we did do them together actually. Thinking about it now, yeah, I think we did. I honestly can't remember. It seems like a long time ago because it was. You know,
I'd imagine,
I mean, he's already started writing a new record. He sent us 2 demos already. The boy's on fire. You can't stop yourself.
Yeah, and some of the guitar parts in that record as well are wicked. There's so many different sounds. There's different. I don't know. I just hear loads of different genres as well, which is brilliant. And it really adds the moods to them as well. Every track, like, you know. So, like I said,
it's weird, you know, doing the Please Remain Seated album, which was a sit-down record where we deconstructed the tunes and put them back together wrong. You know, so rock tunes became reggae tunes, and jazz tunes, and shuffle blues tracks. You know, so the originals were changed beyond pretty much all recognition in some cases. You know, change of key, change of arrangement, change of everything. It was a very experimental record for us because everything we did up on the hoof as we made it up. You know, why don't we try this song like this? You know. And then we would do it, and half the time it didn't work, and then we just go, "This is shit. Let's just do something else. Try something else. Well, that feels better. Let's go with that." You know, and we would just take it along until we felt like we had an idea, and we did it over 3 sessions. But it was a real eye opener because I think it made everybody realize that we were capable of doing things that we didn't necessarily think we could do prior to. I think it's very easy to think within narrow parameters. You know. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And there's a comfort in that. But I think it's also limiting. It limits your imagination, and I think it limits your ability and your talent in the long run. If you think within narrow parameters, I think if you remove them and say, well, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen here? We're just going to waste a load of money and a load of time. If it's shit, we'll know. In which case, no one will ever hear it, you know. And that's down to us, you know, that will be on us. But let's have a go. You know, it's our money. Let's do what we want. And we did. And we deliberately, after the first session, didn't listen to those recordings for 2 months. None of us. We swore that we wouldn't listen to them. And we went out and we did a tour with Alice Cooper in Germany. And on the last night, we sat in the dressing room and someone said, why don't we put those demos on that we did? Let's put them on now. And we said, yeah, all right then. Yeah, great. So we put them on and we sat around in the dressing room listening to them. And it was like a revelation because we'd all forgotten what we'd done. Yeah. And as we were listening to the versions, we're going, this is good, isn't it? This is so different. This is really good. And then every now and again you think, that one don't work. Why did we think that was any good then? This really doesn't work. This is crap, you know. Yeah. And then the next one will come up and you go, wow, this is even better than I remember it, you know. And then there were a couple of times I thought, is this us? You know, it's just really strange. Yeah. But I think to go on that kind of voyage, if you like, that kind of voyage of discovery gives you the ability to question what you do and to push it in other areas, you know. And I think we, having gone right through it all, having made it, I remember we all sat down with a glass of wine. We just finished the album at Rockfield because having done all those demos, we went back in and did them all again to make the record. We just went back in, re-recorded them all again, all live. You know, you've got all the cobblers, all the shit going on in between the tunes, all the laughter. I mean, the outtakes from that album, my God. I mean, there's so much swearing. It's unbelievable. It's like, love to hear that. It makes Derek and Clive look like a nursery rhyme. Trust me. But no one's ever got to hear it. Trust me. Not unless I really fall out with Nick Bryan. and that ain't going to happen, right? Yeah. But having done it, we sat there with a glass of wine, and Luke said, "This has been great, but now it's time to get back and make a fucking rock record. We need to stand up, not sit down. We need to turn up and we need to rock out." Yeah. Because everybody's going to say when we release this record, this is what they do now. They're old. They're ready for their pipe and slippers. And that stuck in our heads.
Mm.
And he started writing this album. And the first song that he wrote, I think it was Destruction, the second song on the album, which is very, very untypical Thunder record. There's no chorus, you know. And then the next song was Last One Out, Turn Off the Lights. And they're just coming off, and they're coming off of Luke's, if you like, production line as they're coming through, as he's writing them and sending us the demos. And I just kept thinking to myself, nobody is going to think that Please Remain Seated is the way we go now. You know, he's got this thing in his head. He's going to prove everybody wrong. Yeah. And the Please Remain Seated album went down really well. The tour was a revelation, but we were very desperate to get back to a rock record with this album. And I think having been through Please Remain Seated, it kind of galvanized us from a musical direction point of view. You talk about textures. A lot of those textures we found while we were making the Please Remain Seated album, just sitting around experimenting with sounds. You know, we wouldn't normally give ourselves the opportunity to do that because it would already be fixed before we got there. But experimenting with Please Remain Seated gave us the ability to do that. And it let us know we could. And that's after all these years, you know, we're still now pushing away the barriers that we made for ourselves, you know. So we're just pushing away at them now because we know we are closer to the end than the beginning of our career. So, and we still feel we can make our best record yet. We genuinely do believe it, you know, and we want to push because we don't know if the next record will be our last record. So we have to know we've done our very best with it. And if it isn't the best record we've ever made, at least we had a go. But that's a look in the mirror in the morning moment. You know, you got to say to yourself, you know, we've just finished that record. Did I do the best I could do? It comes under the heading of neurotic maniac singer. It's all wrapped up in the same thing. You know, asking yourself the question, look in the mirror. Did you do the best you could do? Be honest with yourself. If you didn't, fuck off. Do something else.
Danny, get out of my fucking head. It's absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on.
I'm going to tell you now, he gave me money to say all that.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't.
He's been emailing me for weeks, mate.
He's got a white t-shirt on. He's drinking water. I tell you,
well done. It worked.
Danny, absolute pleasure to speak with you, buddy. As always, inspirational, buddy. I love that chat. Thank you so much. Everybody, go and get this album. All the Right Noises is Thunder back doing what they do best. Danny, take care, brother. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good luck, boys. Take it easy.
See
you in May, yeah?
Soon.
Yes.
Definitely. See you soon. Cheers, Danny.
Later.
Take care, Danny.
Oh, man, that was brilliant.
Absolutely legend.
Brilliant. I love that, dude. And that cost me a fair few quid to get him to say after that, but it was worth it. Should we bring in the boys?
Let's bring in the Crows.
Let's bring in the Crows. It's Shiner. There's Lloyd. And there's Dave.
Evening, everyone.
There's he gone.
Hey, where's he gone? The toilet, is he?
Oh, he's all right. There we are.
Gary's had him, I think. Gary's had him.
He's all right. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, man. Spoke a lot of sense.
Yeah.
A lot of great stories.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
Incredible, and I'm really glad, like I said, that he said half that he did for you as well, Shane. Especially with the the preparation with stage, and especially now with writing and stuff like that. There was a lot that kind of, I don't know, it just made sense to us as a band. There was a lot that we got in common with him, like, you know.
What the
hell
is Shane doing?
I'm trying to stay away from this sign a minute, but sorry. There we go. No, absolutely, and it's great knowing that, you know, he's
yeah, he is. Sorry,
I bet he is.
Boys, you don't even know what just happened to me. Fuck, you know.
Is it something we can share or not?
Do you want to know?
Well, I don't know.
We rehearsed.
I don't know now, Dave. We are live.
Yeah, no. I basically went into the bathroom. I thought my face is a bit dry. I put a bit of moisturizer on.
Right.
So I get the thing, and it's like a rollerball on it. So I was doing that. Fucking exploded all over my face, all in my fucking hair. Yeah. That's why I got a cap on. And I was like, fuck, I'm supposed to be on air in like 2 minutes. Shit. So here I am.
I love it. I love it. That was a brilliant guest. Absolutely brilliant guest. I really enjoyed that. Great, like you said, like great stories, but
Yeah, man.
just looking forward to meeting him now, because I think that's the only thing we're missing. Like, you know, we've seen him twice on here, which is it's brilliant. We get on with him great. His advice is incredible. So it's just meeting with him now, and the rest of the guys as well. Like, you know, so.
Genuinely
the
feel like I
best
know
thing
him.
was-
Like, do you know what I mean? I genuinely feel like I've known him for a long time. It's mad. That doesn't happen with me often. You know, normally it's like, you know, I just feel like I know him. It's mad.
It was nice to hear him say like the stories where he'd be like, you just don't want to talk to anyone that day, and he's there going la 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 la, and then Shane went, yeah, fuck off, I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
I was backstage laughing my fucking head off at that bit. Kindly go, don't tell them to fuck off because they won't come back.
No, I'll definitely be going to see the Danny and Luke show.
Yeah, man. I mean, I got told all about it. Like I said, the My Stag one. A lot of people bought tickets for it. Said to me how great it was. So I'll probably do exactly the same as well now, especially for like I think it's Swansea they're playing, and
There's one in
They're doing
Porthcawl.
Porthcawl as well.
of course
Llanelli they're doing as well.
There we go. See, so yeah, actually, Porthcawl Pavilion be a nice. That'd be nice to go back, to revisit.
Exactly. A little, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. That would, especially like, you know, all the early talent shows and old gigs to do and stuff like that. Like, so,
Wrecked, didn't it?
yeah, and you know exactly what we said about that record when it's Shane. Some beautiful tones, the guitars, the guitar tones and stuff are phenomenal. But just some great hooks. They're definitely back. I'm glad he told us the story with that and why they wanted to come out with it. And it's cool to see that they're working on the next record as well. Goes to show that the hunger, I think you said that to him, didn't you? It was nice to see the hunger's there, like, you know. So,
yeah, the album sounds great. Not just like the sounds, but they sound big. Do you know what I mean? The backing vocals, the backing vocals sound incredible. It's a good feeling vibe, man. It's and great to run to. Honestly.
Well, I was going to say to him actually, there's a track called "Don't Forget to Live Before You." Die. But I love that. I really like that. If you know, go and check it out, boys. If you haven't heard that track, just because I love the backing vocals stood out for me in that one as well. That they make that song. It's weird, like how you kind of zone in on something. It doesn't always have to be drums or a bass line or anything. There is a cracking song, Lloyd, where it starts with the bass as well. Like that's
Chris Childs too, man. Chris Childs is incredible.
Yeah, it's just the whole pattern of it and how it builds and stuff. But that one that I was on about, it's just the mood of it more than anything. It's really moody. And Harry does the right amount on the drums. I find he really does drum for the song on that one. It just seems like the right kind of drumming for it and the right amount of flair that's needed. Like, you know. So yeah, for anybody who hasn't checked it out, go buy that. Definitely go buy it. Go stream it. Whatever. Go get it.
Go.
So are you right, Dave? Are you traumatized with your?
He looks backwards. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a fucking brand new thing of moisturizer. It's an expensive one as well. It's fucking all over the bathroom floor, all in my hair.
Oh.
So you won't be wearing that blue
I'm nicely moisturized anyway, and so is the rest. So is the rest of the bathroom. In all honesty, like. Fucking tamping, man.
Lindy being there now, like that.
Fucking typical me, innit?
I had a similar incident the other day. Watering the plants in the garden. Have you used those pumps, boys?
Yeah. The spray.
Shit out of me. So it was dark. I thought, water the old strawberries and stuff like that. So I'm pumping it away, like boosh, 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 boosh. Start watering, and next thing you know, boom! Fucking tank blew up.
Overloaded the pressure, but
I That's what the wife said. It was, I shit myself, especially like where I am, because I'm in like where the old colliery used to be. It fucking echoes, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty dark out your backyard as well, isn't it? It's pretty it's pretty eerie.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a massive guy. I mean, I'm around 6'2", but it was the air off the tank.
Inhales, like
I genuinely, it fucking moved me. Yeah, it definitely moved me. Like, it's like a fucking movie shade. I'm trying to make it bigger, but I'm trying to make it bigger.
Really, it was just like a cap gun. Like an old potato gun.
Yeah.
This moisturizer, I never had one before. The little roller balls you have in deodorants.
Yeah,
it's supposed like a nice even distribution. Without having to use your hands, so it doesn't go into your hands. I'm going like that. You have to squeeze it just gently, just to let it out a little bit. And this ball just goes into my head, and it's just white. And I look like I've been in like some Bukaki fucking film or something. Do you know what I mean? It's terrible. Oh, do. Oof. No kids watching now, are there?
It's been late for that, Dave.
We're after 9. You can see if they get your cock out now. You're all right.
Suffering from my heart, boys. Suffering from my heart.
Anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
So, anything ever?
Where'd you go from there? Like,
anything else happened to you today, Dave? No, you'd like to share with the internet?
Ooh, no, for next week. Content, it.
So you haven't turned blue today?
No, just white.
No, just red by the looks of it.
Yeah, just white and then red.
Right.
Yeah.
Shall we have some birthdays?
Yeah, let's do that.
Back on track.
As Dave recovers a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Birthdays. Ray Ralph. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Ray. Hope you had a good in bed.
Hey!
Happy birthday.
Helen Laird. It was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Helen.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
B. Edwards. I love Shayna coming in. Happy birthday. What is Shayna?
I said not Welsh, but
Happy birthday.
Happy
Scottish.
birthday. B. Edwards. Hiya. Can I request a birthday shout out for Darren? It's his birthday tomorrow. From B and the boys and us crows too. Happy birthday, Darren.
Happy birthday, Darren.
Darren.
Well done, Lloyd. That was a good one. Happy birthday, Alison Fole. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Alison.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Alison.
Hey!
Oh, that's a good one too, Ronnie Exford. Florence Beatty, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Florence.
Happy birthday, Florence.
Happy birthday.
Hey! Keep on consistent, innit?
We got two shout outs now. Donna Lennox got in touch. Hey, Crows, could you give a big shout out to Steve Arnold tonight, please? We've not been able to meet up since last July, but there's the glimmer of gigs on the horizon, and I really can't wait to meet up with my gig buddy extraordinaire. Let the lunacy begin. Big shout out to Steve.
Big shout out!
Shout out, Steve. My hair will be like yours by the time I wash this moisturizer out of it.
And the last one, last but not least, we, and I'm sure the rest of the Crow family, would like to wish Terry Chapman of RPM, better half of Barry Mills from Massive Wagons, a speedy recovery. She had an operation on her leg. She tried to stop a motorbike from falling, and it crushed her leg.
Oh,
so she's in hospital, broken leg, and she's got to have an operation. So big love, speedy recovery, Terry.
yeah, all the best, Terry.
All the best,
She's in
Terry.
good spirits. She's in good spirits. But
Sounds
we're all
nasty.
thinking of you. And that's all the shout outs.
Tidy.
What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
What was that, Lloyd?
Action.
Action. And this week, the lyric is as follows. Yeah, it's time to. Yeah, it's time to. What's the next line? Go.
You should have done that. You should have just literally left it as yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, you could. If you were game, but you could do what you want.
All right, fair
Yes.
enough.
The ante a bit.
Yeah. Imagine how long we'll have to fill to wait for the right answer.
That's right. I'm pretty sure Dave's got enough content in the suitcase somewhere.
Exactly.
I got a pocket full of calamities from the last 10 minutes. I can,
Give it a bit more
fill.
juice, Steve-o.
I love it. One more time, Shane, what's that lyric?
Yeah, it's time to. Yeah, it's time to. And the winner will get, this is off one of the Crow family, by the way, has paid good money for one of those posters, the lyric art. They put that up, so they paid for it. And the winner gets my ugly mug with all the lyrics.
Look at the detail on that. It's fantastic.
I'm sure we'll chuck something else in as well.
Super
A surprise.
A roll-on, is it?
A sneaky,
A broken roll on.
a sneaky exploding roll-on.
But while we wait for the answer, what if we have a bit of
The best music all day long. Crow Radio. Available now via Those Damn Crows Spotify page. Don't forget to click the green heart.
All right, so we're back to, there's plenty going on in the world now. So we've gone back to our topical playlist. So we're gonna pick songs that are relevant to the weekly happenings. Not my creamy white face, okay?
Oh,
So
oh, for the love of God.
I'm gonna go through each track, and we're gonna have a little discussion about what each of them are in the news today. So we have, first off, "Eat the Rich" by Aerosmith.
tune?
Motherfucker.
Yeah, come on, we're gonna have a little discussion about what that represents in the news.
Well, originally off the album Get a Grip.
If you go through and then we can pick out some of the topics.
All right, cool. All right, cool.
That'll
We'll do
be
that
easy then. Yes.
All right then, cool. So we got Eat the Rich, Aerosmith, Scar Tissue, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Breakaway by Us, Cold as Ice, Foreigner, One Step Closer, Linkin Park, Drive, REM, Can I Play With, Madness, Iron Maiden, Kill the Power, Skindred, Welsh friends, Close to Me, The Cure, Washington Bullets, The Clash, Life on Mars, David Bowie, Take the Power Back, Rage Against the Machine, Ice Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice, Mars Attacks, Misfits, Just Looking, Stereophonics, Welsh friends, Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf, Don't Forget to Live Before You Die, Thunder, and Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler, Welsh friend.
Yeah, man. If we look through some of them, like you said, it's a topical week. So it's just stuff that's happened in the news or we've seen on social media, etc. So I think the first one, without boring everyone, because I know like all the Crow family are not massive football fans, was the obvious, the European Super League. Or non-Super League or Big Six, or some of those teams shouldn't really be in the top six technically. So yeah, that was the reason for some of the choices. It is massive news if you are a sports fan. If you have invested your money in those clubs, I personally said on our group, didn't I, that if Manchester United were to do it, and things were to go that way, I would have to go away from them. Like it wouldn't. Yeah. It's it just didn't sit well with me, and I kind of weighed up all options. I know, like the Premier League obviously took over around 1991, and you can call that money. I know UEFA Champions League is money, but it's the competitiveness. And Shane gets this, playing football all his life, and to me, I love the stories of like, the smaller clubs doing really well. I mean, if you look at the Premier League this season, your top four currently is Man City, Man United, West Ham, Leicester.
Well, Leicester's the prime example of all that, isn't it? Really.
They've won the Premier League. I mean, look at the
Yeah.
year that they won it. So, well, the big boys, or when I say the big boys, they kind of turn around and go, "Oh, well, fuck this. We're going to go and form our own team. We're going to take our ball. We're going to go and form our own team. We will never get relegated. We'll always be in the league, and we'll invite people to come and play with us." I just didn't like that. I really, really didn't like it. And, I know news has been breaking since we've been on here as well. So, what's that? Chelsea and Man City have agreed to pull out now, so it looks like it will fall apart. For Manchester United as well, in all fairness. My boy was trying to keep me up to date that I do believe Edward Woodward has resigned or something like that. So, because Manchester United are not going to be part of it. Or
equaliser,
what?
Edward Woodward, the equaliser.
I think it's Edward Woodward, whatever his name is. I can't stand him, but
my thoughts on it, right, are like the reason a big match like all the top teams playing is special is because it's not every week. If you're watching Manchester United versus Barcelona every week, it just becomes a part of the wallpaper. It's like it's not a special occasion, then, is it? And it takes that greatness out of the football. Where I don't know, it's just like if you miss the match, you don't care because it's on in 2 weeks' time, But whereas it's special now if you see your team like Manchester United playing in the Champions League or whatnot. Are they in the Champions League this year?
Oh no, Man United.
Yeah.
No. That's the thing.
Sorry. Tough crowd. Anyway, what I'm saying is,
You don't know what you're saying, do you, mate?
If they were playing Real Madrid every week, you'd lose the excitement about it, wouldn't it?
Yes, especially being a Welsh supporter, and I don't know, like when we had that run in the Euros, that was fantastic. You can't beat that spirit.
Because it was special, and it was.
Yeah,
oh, boys, hang on, Shane, can you stop?
Yeah, and even being a Man United fan, especially back years ago when Man United were in the Champions League final and we were down and we came back with Solskjaer and Sheringham scoring. Even the big team comebacks, it's brilliant, that whole underdog. But if we're talking about history, you've got teams like Nottingham Forest and other teams who actually have been around for longer. It's just these are the teams with the money. And owners who are potentially going to fucking kill a game that a lot of people love. There's a lot of people watching this who can't stand it, don't get me wrong. But that's kind of why it's on our Spotify playlist. Some of the songs, especially like Eat the Rich, for example, amongst others. Kill the Power, for example. It's just like fans got to take it back. They got to take that control back. Because, it's kind of like music. That's where it's relevant. They spend their season tickets to go and support their team. It's very tribe orientated. It's, when they follow them all around Europe or the world, and a lot of them spend their life savings supporting that team. Oh, yeah. So for all of a sudden for them to go, well, fuck the Premier League, or we're not going to bother this, and we're going to go and form our own league it's a bit wow. And the timing couldn't be worse. Especially, like I said, with everything that's been going on over the last year, it's a little bit making the rich richer, and the pyramid, the whole structure of the football leagues just completely tumbles, if you ask me. You know what I mean? It's appalling, man. What's your thoughts on it, Shane? And you, Shane, being Liverpool fans as well, Yeah,
it's a bad idea. It's the rich getting richer. They're trying to isolate. The whole thing about football is anybody can play it. Oh, look at this big screen. The thing is, right? No, everybody can play football. Everybody can go down the shop and get a $1.99 flyaway ball as we did as kids and go and play this wonderful game of football. The minute you start, it's elitism at this already. The Premier League, the money they're getting paid is ridiculous. But it still means something. Do you know what I mean? You can see it when they win the Champions League, when they win the Premier League, blah, blah.
It's competition.
And if you lose, if you relegate, it's massive impact. Yeah. To take that away from the game, there's no competition.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the sport. It's a competitive
sport. Nothing. It means
nothing
except that to all the big boys. the people behind these massive football clubs. And sadly, they cannot be football fans because this wouldn't even be a thought if it was a case. It's their money fans. It's about how much more they can bring in.
Yeah.
It's mad, man. But yeah,
I don't think it'll happen, in all honesty. I mean, you see teams pulling out left, right, and centre, and all the opposition to it. I think it's. Yeah,
Well, they tried
Mourinho was sacked over it, wasn't he? He was, or is that just what's been said?
Yeah, I think it just sacked him.
I think they just backed him. It's just the timing and
Tottenham fans were telling me it's because of that. So there we are.
Yeah. What do you think, Shane? Being a Liverpool fan as well, and you obviously been watching Sky Sports News and stuff, or
Yeah, you brought a good point up earlier about Nottingham Forest. So if it's going to be called a European league, then surely Forest have to be in it, Leeds have to be in it because they've won more European Cups than Man City, Chelsea. So
yeah, we've got the cash show. That's what it's all about, Sen.
yeah, I think that's what it is. It all comes back to money, doesn't it?
All
it
about
does. It does.
Make it rain, innit?
It's like
Yeah, it's all bonkers.
yeah,
And that's the downfall of everything.
yeah.
I mean, I discovered that listening to a podcast the other day that one of the wrestling shows I watch, AEW, they own Fulham as well, like, so it's that injection of cash, and then they expect the roster, as they call it, which we know as a squad, they expect the roster to be as strong as it can be. And why ain't they competing in the Super League, as they would say? But it's not, it's the Premier League. So it's mad listening to this podcast where he had all the terms completely arse backwards, considering he owns the club. And he had, you know what I mean? It was just like, in soccer, they should have a really strong roster. And I'm like, squad.
Yeah, football.
So yeah, it's mad. And obviously, I don't want to stay on the subject too long. Some of the other playlists, the topics as well, was the largest iceberg. I think I've got my facts right there. The biggest iceberg has started to melt. Hence the ice baby. So yeah, that's started to melt. Like, it's look at that.
Well, the weather's been nice lately, hasn't it?
The weather's been nice. Hey, it's been lovely out there, yeah. But no, it's no, I'm not even going to get down the road of the global warming thing. But
That's impressive.
We all got to do our bit of a meter.
Yeah, well, that ties in nicely as well to it was 112 years last Thursday. The Titanic hit an iceberg and sank.
Aye,
but it wasn't that one, was it?
Wow.
It might have been, Dave. Might still be
Did you know?
Wow, I was reading somewhere it was heading towards somewhere, and it has melted, or it's broken up. I apologize. So it's like, but yet again worrying because of global warming as well. Like, and one of the other topics as well on the Spotify is the Two Princes. There was a couple of songs regarding, obviously the funeral and the arguments surrounding the royal family at the moment. You notice a few bits, is it, Shane?
Come on, boys, sort it out.
Yeah.
The shit those boys have gone through.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know the ins and outs. I don't even know him. But come on. Do you know what I mean?
Family, innit? Family,
mate.
Sort that shit out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're royal. It doesn't matter if you're royal or if you live in a council estate in friggin', Fulham. It don't matter.
No,
Yeah,
I
was watching the funeral, Prince Philip, and they're doing the walk behind the coffin and stuff, and you had the two boys, and it was a cousin, I think it was a cousin, in between them, and it just looked wrong. Like, he was just, are they doing that because they don't want to speak to one another? Even if it wasn't, it just looked like there's a problem. It's just sad, man.
Yeah.
It is sad, dude.
It
is sad.
Sort it out.
Yeah, so Princes.
That bloody coffin. Fair play to the pallbearers carrying that. Oof, well, look bloody heavy, like. Fair play to them. Hats off.
What else did we have in there? Well, I checked in Washington Bullets by the Clash because apparently Fidel Castro's brother has stepped down from power in Cuba. Sandinista, Cuba. That was the link there. So what else have we got? Moving on.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks by Misfits. And we had Life on Mars by David Bowie. Oh, there we are. See, there we are.
That's incredible.
Some shit going on Mars, isn't it?
Well, there's hardly anything going on Mars.
Chocolate and nugget mainly. But
There's a place to do a gig now, isn't it? There's nobody up there, like.
Yeah. But speaking of that, but I generally think the way it went out, but we'll take over to fucking Mars within 6 weeks.
Aye, very true.
Probably they're already shining, just not telling us. But
Yeah,
That's where it came from, Mars. That's where it came from.
yeah, you've seen that film Total Recall, surely.
yeah. All fucking ET's up there, boy.
Right. And sadly, it broke as well just before we came on here tonight about Jim Steinman.
Yes.
Fantastic producer, fantastic songwriter, brilliant musician as well. Brilliant musician. Yeah, he sadly passed away. So a couple of tracks in there as well, just a nod, just out of appreciation, because we all grew up listening to those tracks. Like, you know, even Bonnie Tyler. Absolutely love that song.
didn't he do a bit for Celine Dion as well?
Yeah.
I'm not be
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah.
Honestly, Lloyd, we could have actually done the whole playlist just on him. To be honest, it's phenomenal. But I mean, that Bonnie Tyler track is just like, you know, a couple of beers inside of me on a late night. That's my jam, like, you know. And,
Do you know do you know the Welsh line in there, the overly Welsh line? And I need you now tonight.
no.
And I need you now. I need you tonight now. I need you now tonight.
Now in a
Like,
minute. Now in a
need-
minute.
Yeah, no need to have the now in there, is it? No need.
Are you doing a
I
minute
thought,
now?
because Bonnie
tonight, lad?
Tyler was Welsh, I thought she had a bit of a thing in her, you know.
Never genuinely never noticed that before.
And I
Probably
need
not.
you.
He's
I
in there,
need
Ron.
I
He's
need
just talking
you.
bollocks, mate.
I need you now tonight.
I need you now.
Now tonight.
Tonight.
I need you now tonight. Well, which
Yeah.
is it?
Need you now tonight.
Tonight. I need you now tonight. No, that's not Irish.
Yeah. I was gonna
You
say
are,
that's-
Try
fuck it,
to
give me the
Welsh.
mic.
You are Welsh, Shweda.
you
Fuck
are
it, give me the
Welsh. You're trying to put on a Welsh accent, but
You are Welsh.
you're sounding more fucking Norwegian at the moment.
Okay. Do you know if I?
Yeah.
Speaking of Mars, Dave, is that where you fucking come from?
So yes, that was tonight's playlist anyway. Shane, do we have a winner of the competition so we can move on?
Yes, we do, Ronald. So the lyric was, yeah, it's time to. And the answer is Breakaway from the song Breakaway. There was a bit of a hint because it was actually on our Spotify playlist. And the first person that said the correct answer was Paula Yeats.
Well done.
Congratulations, Paula.
Well done.
We will sort that out for you. We will sort out the poster for you,
You've just
and
one
another little surprise in there as well.
broken
That's what she
ruler.
said.
Love that. Before we move on as well, it's probably a cool time to check in with Arnie Schwarzenegger. For anybody who doesn't know what's happening in this segment, Crow Fitness is on Facebook. You can join the community. Everybody's keeping track of their Fitbits or their karate lessons, walking, running, bicycles. It's brilliant, guys. Everybody's kind of motivating each other to move more. And because we can't get around the world, they've decided to do a world tour for us. How long will it take us to go around the world? So here's your update. Week 7 of Crow Fitness Around the World Challenge and North America tour is underway. We finally find our way out of the wilds of Newfoundland with just over 200 miles to our credit this week. And we've stopped in Quebec, Montreal, Boston, New York, and Philadelphia.
Ooh,
Photo
nice.
opportunity for the band running up the rocky steps at the entrance.
Oh, nice.
But better still, we are now over halfway through our challenge, having completed more than 13,000 of almost 25,000 mile target. It's looking like these selected late May, early June in our competition are going to be where our winner is. Ooh.
Nice. Look forward to that.
So we done the French Quarter of Canada.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah,
Quite-
never been there, but apparently we have. So
Oh, we
Why
have
don't
now.
people keep trucking?
I love it all, this is,
Quebec.
boys.
Montreal, fuck aye.
I know.
Okay.
Smash You know those little you go to the supermarket and you get those little pointless tubs of Marmite. You know the little ones. Do you ever
Yeah.
wonder what the fuck is going on there? Why the fuck do you get such a little tub of Marmite? It's like, and it's gone. Just me? No. Well, I'll explain why.
Oh.
Did you know that Marmite was the most confiscated item in the UK at airports? So to get around it, Marmite created the mini pot to take abroad with you.
Confiscated.
Ah.
What did they hide in it?
No, just because the jars were too big. You have to be under 100 milliliters or whatever it is, isn't
Oh,
it?
right.
So the little jars were for travel purposes because they were so widely confiscated.
So what you're saying is, like, me and the family, we're going on holidays now. Oh, don't forget the Marmite.
Well, yeah, a lot of people like Marmite, and you can't get it on the continent, can you? Like, it's not a thing people have in Europe.
I don't know. I don't really. I'm
No,
not really
you
a fan
don't.
of it.
Yeah, I love it, and
And
I
then-
wouldn't take one away with me. I mean, like I say, when in Rome, you know, you have.
Let me ask you a question, Dave. How do you eat your Marmite, bud? Is it on toast or?
Yeah, toast, or you can put it into you can just put a bit in a chili just to enrich in it, or
But can you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Are you saying that little pot that you can only get one piece of toast with that little pot?
No, I mean I was just exaggerating to make my segment sound more exciting, but
Right. So you're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying.
So, are you allowed to take like 10 little pots then?
That's a good question.
I haven't
No,
tried.
no,
Yeah,
think about
I think you probably could, but I think you probably take a whole
A suitcase full. Yeah.
full of small pots of Marmite. I mean, why you'd want to?
Well,
is
why
another
don't we?
question.
Why don't you try it?
Well, I've done Stranger Things, Lloyd. So
Well, right,
Shane's like, yeah, he has.
you know,
Yeah.
Michael's
Okay.
pint glasses back.
yeah.
It says harmony on the side.
Yeah. And took a where did we go? We took a suitcase full of DVDs.
Well, that was Scotland. No clothes, mind. No underwear. Nothing. No toothbrush. Just DVDs. But anyway, yeah. So you know, next time you go to the supermarket, you see the itty bitty little pots. That's why.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. You're
Fair
welcome.
play,
You're
like
welcome.
the Oracle, you are.
I know. The oracle's spewing out shit, constantly just spaffing shit out of my mouth,
They
24/7.
Marmite crisps, do they? Oh, fuck. Lord.
I love Marmite, mate. Honestly, I anything Marmite.
I tell you
Love
what I do like, dude, which not a lot of people like. Twiglets.
Oh, I love Twiglets, but love them.
I think there's a time and
As a
place
bar
for
snack. As a
Twiglets
bar snack.
and Marmite. There's a time and place. You know, like when you've had a few
Yeah,
and you just, you've been smashing your face full of drink and you're hungry. Then that's the time to
Yeah,
have Marmite.
Yeah, they got that saltiness to them.
Yeah.
Twiglet, man, for me, sober. And I'm like, I just want one more. Just one more.
Alex Marsh. I hate Marmite on its own, but I love Marmite with peanut butter. Now, when I was in university as a student, I used to make Marmite and peanut butter.
What? Hang on,
toast.
back up. You went to university?
What?
Yes.
Does
Apparently,
this guy know how to party or what?
apparently any old fucking twonk could go to university. But
Wow.
yeah, peanut butter and Marmite in a toasty. You can buy Marmite peanut butter now. So
Oh.
They are the two
It's a
worst
thing.
things for me. I can't stand both. Can't stand
I have to remember that.
Really?
And yeah, I'm not allergic to them, Dave. I'm not gonna fucking flake out. So, but I can't stand peanut butter. I can't stand Marmite. Yeah, so yeah, there's no shade in there. Yeah, if you have that, you fucking rock on. I'll eat your plate before I'll eat your Marmite. There we go.
Dave will eat
You
your
have
ham.
to remember this, Dave. This will be interesting. next week.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next time we get together, boys.
We can't play the gig tomorrow night because Ronnie's
Ronnie's eating the
sliced all his insides because he's yet chawing the plate.
Yeah.
Or there'll be a nice.
He's Greeked his insides up.
He'll have a nice rider with loads of ham, and he'll just decide to spread fucking Marmite on my ham or something like that.
We all know what Dave's like with a ham.
Yeah.
The yammer.
Well, I'm a changed man now, boys. I went to ham rehab. I went to ham hab.
Oh, peanut butter and jam sandwich.
That's lovely. But
yeah.
not knock it. It's banging.
Yeah.
Jam and cheese.
Yes, David. I was just about to say that.
Bam.
It's sweet and sour, isn't it? It's the sweet and sour.
Bam.
Banging.
Bam. Hit you in the taste buds. Bam.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was training before, and I bought like really good quality peanut butter, and you have to have a part of my like diet nutrition or whatever to have a spoonful or whatever to get your metabolism up. It's fucking horrible. It was like medicine. I'd rather have had Navolia or whatever that fucking medicine's called.
Cavonia, but
Cavonia.
Cosmo something.
Ainsley Harriet. Cavonia.
It's like Benelin. Reminds me of Dr. Pepper.
Do you remember that? Talking about peanut butter. Do you remember the old peanut butter advert, Sun Pat? Remember the ginger kid, Sun Pat? No, just showing my age here, am I?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Dave at University. Moving on.
I got a degree in fucking bollocks.
Yeah.
Give it a bit more juice, Devo.
100% in that motherfucker.
Fun Pat. What's Fun Pat?
No, Sun Pat.
Sun Pat.
Fun Pat.
Do you remember that? Sun Pat, Sun Pat, Sun Pat.
Yeah.
Was that a talking sun?
No,
That was
Vitalite.
Vitalite. That was Vitalite. That was.
It was acid, that was, Shane.
Vitalite.
Those
were the days.
acid.
Early 90s, like. No, that was Vitalite, the old speaking.
Anyway, moving on, Dave. Moving on.
Yeah, that's fucking Teletubbies, that was.
Tough crowd tonight. Ooh, tell you what, it's a bit warm in here, isn't it? Crack the window open now.
Okay, before we do move on, and I give the whole spiel and stuff as well, we did announce a few gigs, boys. Check them out.
Look at this.
Oh, mini
It's
tour.
been so long.
There we are. We are very excited. So excited. We've done a graphic for it as well.
Well, let's hope it fucking happens.
Yeah,
Where'd you start, boys? Where'd you start?
At home.
So, yeah.
Agenda Derby.
So, is it?
Derby
Yes.
to
Derby.
Inverness. Inverness to
No,
Sheffield.
it's not Shine. It's not
Sheffield to
Inverness.
Buffalo.
It's Inverness.
Inverness. Scotland. So
That
yeah.
is correct. Tickets are flying out at the moment. So, yeah, Shane, I don't know if that is correct. I did my best on Google Maps. It's coming up saying 21 hours, 47 minutes. We haven't seen each other properly for I don't know how long. And now we're going to spend 21 hours, 47 minutes in a van together.
Just to put this out there, right? That's the total traveling time.
Yeah,
To fly to Australia would still take longer than that.
exactly. Positivity, but positivity.
So I fucking missed this fucking.
Yeah. It's way more. It's way more fun than flying to Australia. Being in the van with that.
So for anybody keeping score, we leave Bridgend and we will be heading over to Derby. So that's where you'll catch us on Tuesday, the 9th of November at the Hairy Dog in Derby. Like I said, get your tickets. I've had a few people saying that they've bought theirs. I know the promoter said that they are flying out, which is brilliant to hear. Gigs are back on the table, which is great, and we can't wait to hit the road. Then we leave Derby, as you said, China, and we drive all the way up to the north. Right up to where, Lloyd?
Inverness.
Right up. You get right up there. Moving on.
Right up there, as Dave said, right up there. Wednesday, the 10th of November. I fucking don't know what I'm on about now. Wednesday, the 10th of November, the Ironworks in Inverness. Then we come all the way back down and we go to Sheffield on Thursday, the 11th of November at the Corporation in Sheffield. So
And no, that's not on a Wednesday. It's a Thursday.
it's a Thursday.
Ooh.
Sheffield Wednesday, innit?
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at Lloyd cracking out the football jokes.
Hey, bounce.
I'm not gonna lie, I was like, where's he going with that? Where's he fucking going with that? But yeah, I wish you would have told me that one earlier. That's
I thought
brilliant.
you were just being weird like me,
literally, that's
Lloyd, and
fucking
saying
beer
random
talking.
things.
I'm literally just looked
Ah,
at it and said, that doesn't say Wednesday, that's Thursday.
It's brilliant. Because
We should really have a word with our agent, and we should have swapped then dates around.
Yeah. And I think what I would have done on the graphic is I would have done Sheffield, and then I would have crossed out the Wednesday and put Thursday. See?
Yeah.
Yay!
Bloody hell, man.
Fucked it now, haven't we? Anyway, so Thursday, the 11th of November, we're in Sheffield, and then we make our way back down to Porthcawl, Treacle Bay Holiday Park for Planet Rockstock.
Yes.
So yeah, man, it's just really exciting to see that, and it's cool to put the graphic together with, you know, with all the nations' flags. Sadly, if we could have got an Irish date, and we don't know what's going on at the moment with the regulations in Ireland, we would have got to see 4 countries, which would have been fab. But it's still great that we visit 3 in 4 days, which is fab. Do you know what I mean? So,
Oh,
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. Just looking at that and looking at the map, and like, I'm like,
I
oh,
fucking wait, guys. Right, I'm gonna pack my case now. Is it too early?
I know.
Really?
I know. There's plenty of gigs for that, which brings me on to, if you go to www.thosedamncrows.com, and if you get your mouse and scroll right up to the top, you can check out our music, you can check out the shops, the news, CrowCast, beer, Crow Fitness, tour, visual, about us, and contacts as well. So yeah, everything's in one place now. It's much easier. And don't forget, we are on the socials as well. And like we said, go and join the Those Damn Crows fan page. It's fantastic, an amazing community with the Crow family. Loads of cool stuff always happening there. Instagram as well, Twitter. And for those watching tonight on Twitch or YouTube, thank you very much.
tidy.
Tidy indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, one-liner shiner.
Right. Time for bed then, kids.
Far, but
All right, nice short little one. May the bridges you burn light your path.
ooh.
Yes.
That's a beauty, Shane. I like it.
Yep.
It's good.
Keep that one in mind, Dave, at all times.
I've got a story about burning the bridge, Shane. I'll tell you in the van one day, right? Moving
Yeah,
on
now.
see content.
Content. Moving
You
on.
don't want to share it now, Dave?
Go on,
Nope.
Dave.
Definitely
You
not.
want to say that?
Definitely
He
not.
does. Definitely
Oh,
does.
Dave.
Definitely
listen,
not.
I just don't, right?
I'll sell it to the Sun newspaper. That'd be more like it.
No, I will.
For those of
Get
you
10 get 10
Not
grand.
saying now. Tell me. Text.
Dave will be on the fan page in 10 minutes writing about it.
Go on, Roddy. Do your
Just like
spiel,
he did with
son.
his fake account.
Do your spiel, son.
It's not
Crow
even
family, thank you so much for joining us. This has been episode 56. We love you all to bits. Danny Bowes, thank you so much for joining us. We love you, brother.
Thank you, man.
We will see you next Tuesday, live at 9 on CrowCast. Ta-da!
I'm knocking